What's going on, Set Apart Gardens family? What is going on? As y'all can see, I chopped off the fro. Now I got the low cut. So today, I'm gonna wait for some people to come in. But today, man, got an interesting story out of Colorado, man, with black farmers. And I was at work, and one of my coworkers, or one of my former coworkers rather, he sent it to me. He sent me this article, man, and when I tell you I was blown away when I read this article, man, it's so crazy. And I want y'all to get this information, man, as far as what's going on. I want y'all to get in tune with this because this is crazy what's going on in Colorado. So I'm gonna wait for some more people to come in, and then I got some points, man, that I want to really bring up. Especially when you getting back to the land or getting black to the land, as I should say. Um, I got some tips. I definitely got some tips for y'all, specifically for black people. Excuse me, specifically for black people. So I'm gonna wait for some more people to come in, or at least a couple people before I get started. But let me go ahead and share my screen. I'm liking this StreamYard. This StreamYard app is very, very simple because I'm not that tech savvy, but it's very user friendly. Mm-hmm. All right. So right here, the title, and of course we got the farmer right here. And the title is "Get Out." Black Colorado ranchers face domestic terrorism by local whites who say they are trying to steal their land. And this was published in January 16th. And I didn't hear about it until last week, or this week rather. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started, y'all. All right. A black couple rebuilt their lives after losing everything in a hurricane and never thought they'd be thrown into a fight for their ranch and possibly their lives in a predominantly white and hostile Colorado country. Now, let me just say something, because my coworker who actually sent me this, he just moved from Colorado, right? And being that he just moved from Colorado, he was actually like in this area because I believe he said this area is maybe like 30 miles from where he stayed at in Colorado Springs, which isn't far from Denver. And he was telling me, man, there's a lot of places that, are not welcoming to black people, are not friendly to black people. He was telling me that. He said it's a lot of places like that in Colorado, a lot of places like that out west, when you start to go to places like Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, Washington State, see, we oftentimes think it's just in the South, but that's not necessarily true. And honestly, I would argue that the South is better for black people than anywhere else in the country, because of the black population in the South. But he was just telling me that as far as this area right here, because he knows this area. It says every night on Freedom Acres Ranch is a gamble of life and death for black cattlemen, Courtney W. Mallory and his wife, Nicole. As of late, he most likely will find tools destroyed, a prize calf stolen, or one of his hogs with their entrails spewing from slit bellies. So these people, and don't get me wrong, if you're just looking at this right here, where it says like a prize calf stolen or one of his hogs, the entrails is, spewing out of the bellies or whatever, upon first glance, you would think that that's from a predator, right? But then you start to talk about, tools being destroyed or things being destroyed or stolen and stuff like that. And especially a prize calf stolen, like you don't find the remains or nothing like that. That's when you know that that's definitely a person or people. Beheaded and butchered goat carcasses are a common sight. So these farmers, they raise goats, and they say a beheaded and butchered goat carcass is a common sight on their farm. Recently, his newborn calf vanished. Not long ago, the mother of his Pyrenees puppies was poisoned along with several pigs. I mean, come on, y'all. That's sick. You know what I'm saying? Often he picks up animal remains on the farm and has had and has had to put out fires like when the chicken coop was set ablaze. Now, these things ain't just coincidences. And what really gets me, you guys, is that this I'm pretty sure they're reporting it to the police or the local authorities, but nothing is happening. Like, you're talking about your animals being poisoned, right? Your pets being poisoned, your guard dogs being poisoned, animals being beheaded, things being stolen, people setting things on fire. Like, come on, man. Like, that just lets you know what type of place this is where these people are at, where these black farmers are at. To make the situation more tenuous, the Mallory's fence has been damaged over 10 times. Frequently, they must replace surveillance equipment after they see strangers pointing a device towards their cameras, which end up jamming them and taking out the signal. Plus, their electricity lines have been cut, and neighbors have stolen well water by running an illegal line from their stores. Just when you thought it couldn't get no worse, then beheaded goats and things like that, animals being poisoned. Now they saying their fence been damaged. They got surveillance, so they took the time to pay for surveillance, for security, only for people to come in. And you're not gonna sit here and feed to me that this is just a coincidence. That's not a coincidence. None of this is coincidence. Stealing well water, running an illegal line from their source. One day, Courtney was chased by a white man when repairing a portion of his fence. The aggressor, who was in the car, gunned for Courtney, who made it into his vehicle in just enough time to dash away in a hellish pursuit. Once he made it to the end of his property, the man steered the other way. One evening, Nicole was followed by a white woman, who almost ran her car off the road, then put on high beams and pulled out what looked like a gun. The confrontation was exceptionally unnerving because Nicole was returning from a church function with her visiting nieces and nephew. Now, man, in these type cases, man, I would definitely, especially with these with this brother and sister here, man, I would definitely say keep your GoPro on, or some sort of like cameras in your car, because I know it's not easy to just pull your phone out of somebody gunning for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, just out of the blue. But try to keep like a GoPro on, because you can use all this as proof and evidence. When you want to bring forth a case, because cases like this, I believe, should go to the federal level, because these are obviously hate crimes that are happening against these people. All right. Once or twice a week, strange white people slowly drive by their ranch, stop and take pictures or video, and sometimes brandish guns at them. Again, GoPro, keep you a camera so you can actually have this evidence. Because, when the law is looking at it, especially the law of this town, because I'm pretty sure they're in on it, they're going to say, okay, well, this is hearsay. What proof do you have? You know what I'm saying? The couple is frequently followed, especially while they're in town. As a result, they rarely travel and are mindful at what time. Clearly, they are unwanted. And clearly, this sounds like a sundown town. Clearly, this sounds like a sundown town. I'm going to just be real with you. Like I just said, we think oftentimes that it's just in the South, that these sundown towns are, but you got to remember what happened. Most of these people moved from the South and migrated into these areas like Colorado, like the Midwest, out west. You know what I'm saying? All of these different places, these people migrated to up north. It's not just in the South. You have sundown towns all over, and that's what I want black folks to understand. Even the post office workers ask us why we're here, says Courtney. A regular phrase told to Courtney is that he has a lot of the balls. He has a lot of the balls to purchase land in a mostly white community. And honestly, man, I was just it's crazy because I had a young lady who posted in my Facebook group, the Black to the Land movement group, and she was asking a lot of questions as far as, because she wanted, buy property and stuff like that. And she was asking for any tips or suggestions. And one of the main things I thought about was definitely look at the demographics of the area where you want to buy land. Look at those demographics, because if it's mostly white, most likely you're not going to be welcomed out there. Now, this is not everywhere, of course, but as we can see in this clear example right here, this is the case in a lot of places. You have a lot of places that don't want black people out there, especially in the boondocks. Like, man, I can remember looking for land and stuff like that, and just driving out the place, and I'm like, yeah, this is way too far out for my comfort. Even though I got guns, and even though I'm a soldier, I'm trained, and all this stuff, still, man, you don't. It's just certain areas you don't want to be. And this is the sad truth about it. We can sit here and say, oh well, we live in a post-racial America and this and that, but that's further from the truth, man. It is still very much racial in a lot of these areas. What puts me on edge is that everyone knows us and how we look, but we don't know them. Courtney tells Art Republic. This is just some of the reports of the terror the Houston transplant says and he comes from Texas, says his family has experienced since the purchase of a 1,000-acre ranch. No, of course, there's going to be jealousy if you just purchase 1,000 acres in a mostly white area community. In El Paso County, Colorado, in August of 2020, Courtney Mallory alleges he and his wife have been a target of local whites who want them off of their land. Yep, it's like I'm being tormented for doing God's work, says Mallory, who is exhausted because his family has not slept for months from keeping night watches, added to the everyday toil of keeping an active ranch. They're constantly repairing the damage done on and to the ranch. Now look at this right here, y'all. This is a goat. I'm assuming this is either a goat or a sheep. Look at this. It's split open. It's split open, right? And this is proof. Murdered animals. Another goat, a baby goat. These people hate so much that they're willing to kill innocent animals. They're not even killing these animals and harvesting the meat. They just killing these animals for the sake of just being hateful. Think about that. Big Mama Soul, what's going on? It is a lot of sundown towns. It is, and they're not just in the South. We have to acknowledge that they're not just in the South. It's all over. You know what I'm saying? If anything, I feel like the South is the best place for black folks to be because this is where most black people are. And 9 times out of 10 or 8 times out of 10 or whatever, if you're moving in a rural area in any state in the South, there's going to be a black presence there because there has been since the beginning of this country. When asked why he thinks he's being targeted, Courtney claims the rural community wants to steal his land. Yep, they do. And they want to illegally seize it from you. 1,000 acres, of course they want to steal that. I mean, think about the Pickford versus Glickman case. Think about all these years of systemic discrimination against black folks. All these years where their land was being stolen and taken. You know what I'm saying? They weren't even compensated for it a lot of the times. You think they don't want to do the same thing to you? Like, you know what I'm saying? We have to like be real sometimes. I understand we think, we live in this post-racial society after Martin Luther King had a dream and got killed and everything after that was just peaches and cream. That is not the case at all. Not the case. These people didn't change. A lot of these people didn't change. They just moved. And you find it out because you moved into the areas where they migrated to. To worsen his predicament, he alleged that El Paso County Sheriff Sergeant Emery Ray Gerhardt has been complicit in a concerted effort to move his family off of their land and even participates in the ongoing racialized actions. So clearly here we see the police, the sheriff, in on it, which shouldn't surprise anyone. On multiple occasions, the county sheriff is captured on Freedom Acres Ranch footage in his patrol car driving around the perimeters of the Mallory property. Ironically, he has yet to take a police report from the Mallorys for their numerous complaints of trespassing strangers, animal deaths, theft on their property, and list of other offenses. Courtney told Art Republic that Sheriff Gerhardt has even forbidden them from using a portion of their land for their ranching enterprise. I mean, to add injury to insult, they ain't take no reports or none of that, but the sheriff has forbidden them from using a portion of their land for their ranching enterprise. Now, I'm just be real with y'all, family. You ain't got to tell me too many times I ain't want to hear before I leave. Now, I understand, where these brothers are coming from, or this family is coming from. They spent their own hard-earned money, and they should be able to live a peaceful life on their land, which I agree 100%. But at the same time, at what cost? At what cost? Because it's never going to this predicament is never going to end for them. Because even if, let's just say the federal government gets involved and put some sort of protection up, there's still going to be little cunning things that these people in this community do to underhand to or to just sabotage this family. They're going to just keep, because you got to think your kids got to grow up in this area. Like, think about it. Like, I understand the whole dream of integration and all that type stuff, but let's just be real. A lot of times it's not feasible, and in this case, it's definitely not. All over the country, exactly, Big Mama. So, exactly. All right. What was I at? All right. As the only black farmer in the area, it's become evident that our skin color and race are the only driving factors of this extreme racism, discrimination, and harassment. Of course, that's all it is. No other farmers have been approached or have had any of our experiences. Yes, because they feel like this is their land. Stated Courtney in a petition to get Sheriff Gerhardt fired. That's not gonna happen. I hate to sound negative, but that's not gonna happen, man. You got to realize what goes on in a lot of these small towns, man. The power, and that's why, like, you know what I'm saying. You don't want to get no speeding tickets. You don't want to get arrested in these small towns like this. You don't want to get involved in their legal system. No how, no way, because especially as a black person, they're going to try to take you for everything you got, because this is how they literally thrive. This is how they have gotten ahead in life, by stealing from other people. These are the children of the people who enslaved us as a people, man. What more do we expect? And again, this is not directed towards the white community as a whole, but this is just being real. Because most white people, you know what I'm saying, aren't like this. But I'm talking about the ones who are, because evidently here we're seeing these people who are clearly racially discriminating against this family just because they're black and they bought 1,000 acres in an area that they feel like is their land. For 2 years, the Mallorys have lived in fear and rage. Courtney even went to the state commissioner's meeting to complain when his numerous calls to local law enforcement went unheard. Nothing happened. He believes it is because they are all related through marriage, blood, or multi-generational kinship. Exactly. That just brings me back to the point that I just made. These small towns, man, everybody knows everybody. Everybody is family, man. And when you as an outsider, especially as a black outsider, move into this community, oh, brother. I'm pretty sure a white person who ain't from there can move into this community and they'll still face some sort of small discrimination. But you are not only a foreigner, but you're also black. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be real. However, the louder Courtney and Nicole got, the more aggressive the hostility became. Exactly. Gerhardt told me that if I keep calling the police, he's going to arrest me. Courtney recounts just days before he discovered that an arrest warrant had been issued to him and Nicole by Sheriff Gerhardt. We are upset. We are here to fight, but they are trying to silence us and make us look like we're crazy. And exacerbated, Courtney told Art Republic, they are trying to steal my land and lock us up to cover this up. On Thursday, January 12th, the Mallorys received a warrant filed on December 14th in the mail. Charges are stalking, tampering with a utility meter, and petty theft. Come on, man. Come on. Wow. The letter states that they must turn themselves in and be prepared to pay a $2,000 bond. These charges are felonies and can lead to jail. Felonies. Stalking, tampering with the utility meter, and petty theft are felonies? Wow. It can lead to jail time. This gives local authorities probable cause. Dr. Rolanda Spencer told Art Republic Dr. Spencer is a social justice professor at Xavier University who has worked in criminal justice and reentry for almost 20 years. The warrant now makes him a fugitive. And if he gets arrested, the holding time for trial will not be easy if there's already a history with the police being antagonistic. She further explained, right now it is dangerous for them. Brother, it's been dangerous for y'all since y'all stepped on that soil. I'm gonna just tell you that now. It's been dangerous for y'all. And set apart Garden's family, man, I want y'all to share this story, please, if y'all can. If y'all can share this story, because this story needs to be told. This story needs to be told because too many times we sit here and we look on these news media and these people who sit here saying, "Oh, black people are just, they're just complaining all the time. There's no such thing as racism anymore," and this and that. And not only that, for the sake of these people, man, who are actually trying to become self-sufficient and get back to the land, purchase 1,000 acres, farming 1,000 acres, and they're getting harassed in their own land. We see that their animals being killed, being poisoned. They're being harassed and threatened. We need to get this. We need to get this story out because think about what happened with Ahmaud Arbery, right down in Brunswick, and that's like probably 50 minutes from me. I live very close to Brunswick, right? I go through there all the time, so that was right there, not far at all. What happened with Ahmaud Arbery? Because I remember, I want to say he got killed. I want to say February. And the video and it didn't really start catching traction until months later. But when the video came out, because before then it was the hashtag, and that was starting to get some steam going. But it wasn't until that video was leaked that the whole country knew about it, right? And it just became this big thing. We need to make this become a big thing because it's unacceptable. And I do I understand how it is. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're moving out to the country in a lot of these areas, man, especially in places that's like Colorado and all these places, Idaho, that's mainly white. These people don't want you there. These people don't want you there. And they're gonna continue to tell you to get out and get off their land. I'm gonna just tell you that off the top. You know what I'm saying? But to go to these extremes this is baffling, honestly. Our people dealt with grandparents and great grandparents. Now we're dealing with the product of these people. Exactly. We think it's so far away from us. We think history is so far away. Most of our grandparents was living when Martin Luther King was alive. Most of our grandparents or great grandparents lived through segregation at some point in their life. And we know these people. It's not that far away, y'all. It's not that far away. Most of our grandparents knew their grandparents who were slaves or their parents who were slaves. It's not that far away. I don't understand why we think that's so far in the past and that can never happen. That wasn't nothing but a couple decades ago. Now we're dealing with the product of these people. When you really dive, a lot hasn't changed since Jim Crow. It just took another form. The purple elephant. What's going on, family? That is so true. It's took on another form. Exactly. And what has happened too is a lot of other ethnicities have joined in on it. Whether it be Mexicans, Asians, Jewish people, Italians, whatever the case may be. A lot of these people uphold these same systems that has what's the word I'm looking for? That has really disenfranchised our people for so long, and really God dang, I can't think of that. Oppressed. That's it. Such a simple word. It couldn't come to my mind for some reason, but they have oppressed our people for so long. Small towns operate under the good old boy system. Exactly. Sundown towns. And that's what I'm saying. You don't want to get caught in none of these small towns in the middle of nowhere where you one or two black people in that whole city, that whole county. You don't want to be in that situation. And these farmers here, they found themselves in that situation. They're the only black family. The Mallories received a warrant notice so late because they are in a state program that protects their identity. Following a 2021 doxing incident, it is the program that victims of domestic violence use when they are attempting to hide from their abuser, explained Courtney. Excuse me. Doxing is when someone's personal information is revealed with malicious intent. On the Facebook community page connected to El Paso County residents, the Mallory's address was leaked along with a photo of Courtney. Multiple comments under the post suggested that the locals would defend America against individuals that don't know rights, rules, and regulations. And I wonder what those rights, rules, and regulations is. It's boy or Negro, you ain't supposed to be around here. What you doing around here? And go back to where your people are. This ain't for you out here. That's exactly what that translates to. That's America. Following the Facebook post of Mallory's personal information, sightings of whites trespassing and destruction of their ranch, to their ranch increased. Fires, pitchforks, and ropes are familiar sights for the family. For my family, wrote Courtney. So they antagonized these people with fires, pitchforks, and ropes, and antagonize these people. As a result of the doxing, their phone numbers, personal addresses, and emails were secreted. Any mail sent to their home is redirected to another address. Thus, the reason why they obtained the warrant almost a month after it was filed. Now, a really ugly situation has escalated. Man, when you thought it couldn't get no worse. On Monday, they are attending a MLK holiday breakfast in Denver. Yeah, because they're not that far from y'all. This is not far from Denver at all. That's the crazy thing about it. Like when my coworker was telling me this, he was like, "Man, this is not far from Denver at all." And you would think, like, okay, Denver right there. But then you think about places like Vidor, Texas, and Houston is right there. They're right outside of these metropolitan areas. Like they're not far. You know what I'm saying? Even in Georgia, here in Georgia, I forget the name of that city. Forsyth County, that's what it's called. Forsyth County, where Lake Lanier is, where they flooded out a whole black city. They killed and beat and forced these people off their land, and they flooded it and made a lake out of it, which is in Forsyth County. Look up Forsyth County, Georgia. It's the same thing. It's not even an hour from Atlanta. Right? So a lot of these sundown towns are actually next to big cities. So, when you're traveling and stuff, be mindful of that, because you might just stop at a gas station and, you know what I'm saying, you in a place where you ain't supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? So on Monday, they are attending MLK holiday breakfast in Denver in hopes to galvanize more supporters outside of getting help from law enforcement. So far, Courtney has alerted the NAACP, the ACLU, and fellow church members. A staff member at the ACLU agreed to help, but recently died. The NCAA has been mum, and churchgoers have been doing prayer circles. I was about to say something, but I ain't want to say that. I'm out here taking care of animals, but not getting any help. So this man is literally, and see, this is what get me about black folks, right? This man is literally a farmer, 1,000 acres, got cattle, goats, whatever else animals that he raising for food that he can provide to other black people, right? And provide a high quality product to black people. Yet when he's coming and saying, "Hey, this is what's going on, I need y'all help," all these black folks is saying is, "We gonna get in the circle and pray for you." And this is what gets me, right? It's a time for everything. The Bible say that. It's a time for everything. It's a time for prayer. But even Christ said, like, what good is it when your brother come to you with a problem and you just say, "Oh, well, I'm gonna pray for you," but you don't help him out? The brother come to you saying he hungry. This is exactly what Christ was talking about with the Pharisees and the Sadducees. And I hate to take it in this, well, no, I don't hate to take it in this direction, but I know this is kind of off topic, but even Christ was dealing with that with the Pharisees and the Sadducees, because these religious people, they would literally have people come to them with problems, and the only solution they offered was to say, "Well, I'll pray for you," or "I'll keep you in thought," and this and all this crazy stuff. But Christ is saying, "But what good is that when you're not even helping the brother? You're not even helping them out. You're not even giving them food. You're not even what good is it?" So this man is coming to you saying, and that's scripture. That's scripture. So yeah, we can say we in prayer service. No, we need to be out here helping this brother pull security. We need to be marching down, downtown, wherever it's at, until something happens. We need to be, like, come on, man. This brother is literally providing food for the community. All right, I'm taking care of animals. Sorry to go off on that tangent. I'm out here taking care of animals, but not getting any help. Explained Courtney. I'm getting emotional and frustrated on my end. Hey, and we wonder why it ain't why many black farmers walking away, because not only is they getting treated like this, but our people ain't doing spineless. And I'm gonna just say it, spineless. What are we doing? Why we have literally a brother, sister, or family that's being persecuted, being harassed, you know what I'm saying? Threatened. Why are we not doing nothing? Why is the only thing for us to sit here and do is pray? But I say it like this all the time. Yeah, you can go pray all you want to, but you still gonna have to get up and do something afterwards. Like, oh, I'm gonna just, man, come on, bro. That's spineless. That's docile. I ain't advocating, let's go and shoot up. No, I'm saying there's a way to do things legally and professionally, and those things need to be done. I watched that documentary. They flooded it with people still their whole homes, businesses, and bodies are in that lake. Exactly, Big Mama. So, and that's why so many people drown in that lake, Lake Lanier. You black, you live in Georgia, do not go to Lake Lanier. Don't go there. They literally created a lake, over this community, man. And people go there, man. I want to say they have the most drownings in Georgia, something like that, some statistic. They even told Oprah to leave before sundown. Exactly. Hello, Elinell Honeycomb Homestead. What's going on? People don't come together like that anymore. They're too busy fighting each other. Not even just fighting each other. They're too busy selfish. Because of the simple fact of nobody wants to mess up what they got going on. So what happens is these, our people, whether we got careers or whether we got this or that, we so involved in this system that when it persecutes one of us, we turn a blind eye because we don't want to upset the system. We don't want to go against the status quo. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna get on that. I ain't gonna say what I want to say. One nation, very divisible, with liberty and land for some. Yep. Very divisible. In 2017, the Mallories moved to Colorado. The floods from Hurricane Harvey displaced them. Colorado was chosen because Courtney got accepted into the veteran teach program at the Community College of Denver. So this man's a veteran. A campus that is part of the Colorado Community College system. I was the only black male in my class, but I pushed through, said Courtney, who admitted to encountering racism while there, but he took it as the run-of-the-mill experience of being black in America. Again, one thing I want to say to this brother, man, it's just like with anything. We don't even gotta like just make it about racism, but we shouldn't want to stay and remain where we aren't welcome. Because what you're gonna do is leave something better than you found it. And once they successfully kick you off that land, they're gonna reap all of those benefits. You see what I'm saying? We can say, well, we still got to try to make some sort of progress. Yes, that's true, but it's a way we make progress. It's a way that we make progress, because this situation right here is literally you fighting a losing battle. Unless 1,000 black people decide to move to this freaking city tomorrow and buy land and change the demographics and turn it on its head, you fighting a losing battle. I'm gonna just say it like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the truth. Because even if you avoid the jail time, even if you get some sort of protection from the government, it's still not going to stop their attempts until one day they're going to be successful in some sort of attempt. So we can't continue to try to remain where we aren't welcome. Let's go to the places where we are welcome. When we're looking for land, let's look for land in places where it's at least 30% black. Because it's some black people. I mean, and I ain't trying to make it about a race thing, but they made it about a race thing. These white folks who try to kick these people off their land, they made it about a race thing. So let's just talk about race. Anywhere I go, I try to look for black people. You see what I'm saying? Like, start doing that when you looking to buy houses or land or whatever. See, they sold us a fake dream with this whole integration. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not against, integrating as far as, us being able to have access to the same things that everybody else have access to, right? But in terms of us thinking that the white man's water is wetter, that's the problem. You see what I'm saying? There's more than enough cities that have a huge black population that you can go buy land in. There's more than enough in the South, in the places our ancestors were enslaved at, where we technically, made these lands thrive. Buy land in these areas, man. All right. When he finished in 2020, he and Nicole decided to stay and build a future. At the time, living in Strasbourg, which is about 20 to 30 minutes outside of Denver, but they decided to go more inland. Actually, I had a dream of being a National Geographic photographer when growing up, but I have a story like a lot of urban black youth, said Courtney, whose roots are in Houston. I grew up in the inner city, but my grandparents were farmers. Same here. I chose a different path, but I had a love for agriculture. I want to meet this brother, man. I want to meet this brother. After the bumps and curves of youth, Courtney finished and re-sculpted his dream. I knew I wanted to follow what my family did. I wanted to return to farming rather than Texas, like many Americans. He and Nicole wanted to forge their legacies on new soil. Plus, there was another incentive to stay in Colorado. The land was cheap and the landscape was beautiful, said Courtney. See, it's always something to lure us in, but we have to, again, you can't just, I hate to say it like this, black folks, you can't just do what everybody else can do in this country. It's an unwritten rule. It's an unwritten rule. It's an unwritten rule. Gardening in Bio City, what's going on, family? What's going on? Pray and do. God will meet you halfway. Exactly. Faith without works is dead. Like the Apostle James say, I show you my faith by my works. All right. Where we be at? On the weekends, I would ride through the countryside looking at different properties. Through my experience, there were particular things that I wanted. What he found out is that Pikes Peak on the range of Rocky Mountains in the state had two sides. One was arid and dry, while the other had more moisture, which made it more suitable to farm. Added, the stony landscape carried a global reputation for its breathtaking views. With a big vision in hand to carve out an estate that generations could use, the Mallory's hired a local realtor. They also did more research on the black agriculture presence in the state. Since the Mallory's had been in Colorado, so they did some research. Since the Mallory's had been in Colorado for some years, they were starting to locate other black ranchers and growers. At a Bill Pickett rodeo event, Courtney spoke to other residents who told him that the cold weather made farming and ranching more challenging, and for him to be careful out there. Man, they warned you, bro. They warned you. However, they never said what to be careful about exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can't just, and I hate that how people do that. Like, hey, man, I wouldn't do that. You know how we do, black folks. Man, I wouldn't do that if I was you. Oh man, okay. Hey, good luck to you. Instead of just saying, hey, bro, don't go out there, man. The folks racist out there, man. Don't do that. Don't go out there. Man, I wouldn't want to see nothing happen to you. You know what I'm saying? Instead of, hey, man, hey, brother, I don't, be careful. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Stop doing all that. Just tell the brother. Anywho, he'll get on that. They never said what to be careful about, told Courtney. But you should have known. It's like the head nod. Everybody know what the head nod mean. The Mallorys found the property in 2020 and put in a bid, but the offer was rescinded when they found out they were black. Man, first step. First red flag. First red flag. The offer got rescinded when they found out they were black. I'd have been like, you ain't got to worry about me. That'll do it. Eventually, the realtor directed them to a massive ranch that had been abandoned and in foreclosure. So these white folks didn't even want this ranch out here that these people bought. It had been abandoned in foreclosure, and now they want to try to run them off of it. To sweeten the pot, the ranch was located on the side of the peak that was more down. It was hard getting this land. The USDA were not helpful and really did not want black people to acquire that much land. And I get it, brother. We all got that chip on our shoulder, man, where we feel like, well, I'm gonna do it to show them. But sometimes, man, we fight losing battles. We fight losing wars, man. You might have won the battle by getting the land, but you lost the war because it's not gonna end, man. You don't got enough resources and enough people in that area. to win that war. We didn't use most of the programs available to us, but we bought the land that we wanted to be in our family for generations, said Nicole. And I commend this brother and sister for doing that, man. 1,000 acres, young black family. You know what I'm saying? Brother come from the inner city of Houston. Like, come on, man. Although the ranch sat in a picturesque location with fertile soil, it had become a dump site, said Courtney. And they went in there and cleaned this up. Again, like I said, you were going there and make something better than you found it, only for them to run you off and then for it to sell for multi-million dollars after you leave and they shortchange you or undercut you or illegally take it from you. That's why it's a losing battle. Although the ranch sat in a picturesque, already read that. The homestead became a waste repository for tires, old trailer parts, and other refuse. People were taking whatever they could from the land, and the fence was in disrepair. After driving to the land to inspect it before the purchase, he recalled stopping and taking a 360-degree view. Even though he never pursued his career dream job as a nature photographer, Courtney understood natural beauty all too well. Subsequently, the Mallorys took everything they had purchased to the land, knowing that they would recover back their money in profitable returns as ranchers, raising beef cattle, pigs, goats, and chickens for meat. However, between the dead animals, loss in business, and damaged property over the last 2 years, Courtney estimates he has lost $200,000 and is still hemorrhaging money. Now they got to GoFundMe to help the Mallory family from meat sales. This will assist them in purchasing a privacy fit. No. Y'all don't need to do that. Y'all need to move. But you know what? I ain't gonna say that because I ain't got it. I don't know what the Most High got for y'all. But if you want to support this family, this is their GoFundMe. They raised $17,184. Their goal is to raise $25,000. I'm going to most definitely donate to them because, like, man, this is crazy. And I was, man, I would humbly ask, South Guard family, man, if y'all could donate to these this wonderful family. Don't mind the background noise, y'all. That's my daughter. This they GoFundMe right here. I'm gonna leave a link in my description of this video. And this is their Instagram. Black Farmland Owners Matter. This is them right here. Yeah, this is them right here, man. Go follow them. Go check them out. You know what? They followed me on Instagram too. Now that I'm looking at their page, I didn't even know this was them. Wow, that's crazy. But yes, y'all, go follow them. Go follow them. Hold on real quick, y'all. Hold on, I'll be right back. My bad, y'all. That was my daughter. Let's see. When they see black folk, they already think we're a threat. And so moving in the area, they don't want you there. You're adding fuel to the fire that is ready to blow, even when your intentions are good. Exactly. Sometimes we just gotta be strategic, man. And understand what we're walking into. Know what you're going into. Count the cost. Count the cost. Christ say that. The Messiah say that. Count the cost. They already have set in their minds that they own America. Hopefully that's not the case for this family, but it happens more than we're willing to admit. Exactly. It happens way more than we're willing to admit. And again, I just me personally, I just feel like, we shouldn't always go never we should go where we not wanted, And it's the thing, it's nobody gonna want you to have nothing as a black person in America anyways. But like Elnell Honeycomb Homestead just said, they already see you as a threat. And then by moving in their areas, it's just adding fuel to the fire. But I do understand this family, the Mallory family, because man, that's their hard-earned money, man. 1,000 acres that they just bought. They cleaned up this property. They got nice land, nice soil. Like nobody want to get that up easy, man. Nobody don't want to get that up. But that's why, if y'all can, man, share this video, share the article, and get that message out there, man, because this shouldn't be happening in America. It shouldn't. If I were to not go where I was not wanted, I would not be anywhere. That's true, but at the same time, it's places where you not wanted, and it's places where you really, 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 really not wanted. It's a difference, man, and I understand that because we're not wanted here, period. But at the same time, there's a difference. We gotta acknowledge that it's degrees to it. It's degrees to it. That's a reach. What's a reach? Purple elephant. What's a reach? There's degrees to it. AOVO on the farm, Southern Illinois. It's degrees. It is a thank you. It's a different. It's a huge difference. It's a huge. I'm just because okay. All right. Let's take where I live for instance. I live probably like an hour from Savannah, right? I live in the country. I live in the boondocks, but it's 45% Black people here. That makes a world of a difference. I've been in places in Virginia. I've been in places in Georgia. Looked at the demographics, man, and it's 10% Black people, 5% Black people, and you can feel that they don't want you there. It's a huge difference, man. It's a huge difference. I'm the only Black person in my town. Hey, man, if you welcome there, man, hey, it's more power to you, bro. If you welcome there, it's more power to you. And again, this is not the same in every case. This is not the same in every case. I'm specifically talking about, this family being harassed, and threatened on their own land, man. It's a difference. It's a huge difference, man. It's places where we can't go as Black people. Like I said, okay, try to go to Forsyth County at sundown. Try to go to Vidor, Texas at sundown, and see what happens. Versus, you somewhere where it's a greater Black presence and it ain't threatening, But it's a difference, man. It's a huge difference. But support this family, man. Let me go to their stuff again. They GoFundMe. They've had some nice size donations, so that's pretty good. And then they Instagram, where they Instagram at? Right here. Go check them out, man. Go check them out. Hold on, let me see if I can play this video. What they saying? I guess this is the brother right here. Let's see what he got to say. Can y'all hear that, family? Can y'all hear that? Put one in the chat if you can hear that. No sound. Okay, no sound. All right. Go check out that video if you can. I can hear it, but I don't know if y'all can hear it. There are a lot of sundown towns in Illinois. Exactly, brother. Be careful. Be careful out there. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm gonna say. Be careful out there. But yeah. Oh, St. Moshe, Seattle is only like 4%. Exactly, brother. And guess what? St. Moshe. There's a lot of cases in Washington State, man, that sundown towns and all that type of stuff where Black folks ain't welcome. Okay, no audio. Okay, I ain't gonna play the video because I ain't got time to figure it out how to put the sound on there. But yes, there's a lot of sundown towns, man. And the thing I think I hit most of the tips that I wanted to share, man, after reading this. Main point is understand what areas you buy land in. Not too far from Vidar, Texas. Horror stories are true. Thank you. Man, I learned about Vidar, Texas a couple of years ago, man. You know, just seeing the stories come out of Vidar, Texas, I was like, dang, and that's right outside of Houston. So, to your point on the purple elephant, you are right. You know, it's degrees to it. It's degrees to it. You got some places where they don't want you there, but they'll tolerate you. You got some places where you best not be there. Like, that's just the truth about it. But understand what areas you buying land in. Like and just like the brother said in the article, man, it was beautiful in Colorado. The landscape was beautiful and it was affordable land. And oftentimes I'm looking at land and stuff like that too, because I look at land all the time to see the prices and stuff like that. But then I look in a lot of these areas and I'm like, yeah, I look at the demographics and I know I can't buy land in that area. It's just kind of an unwritten rule that we don't like to admit, but it's true. You know, it's a lot of unpopular truths, but that's one of them. But understand where you buying land at, man, because not everywhere is going to be as tolerant. Point number 2, buy some guns. Buy guns, and I'm pretty sure this brother got guns. And yes, you know what I'm saying, I understand you outgunned. He's outgunned. He's in a city where they're the only black family. He's outgunned, but still get you something to protect yourself. And don't be afraid to use them if you have to. Like they said, they keep watch on their farm and they take shifts and stuff like that. That's necessary. They protecting their stuff. We think we're safer amongst them than amongst ourselves. It's deception. It really is deception. It really is deception. It's not true. Like I was just saying, when I go places, like matter of fact, this past year, August, last year in August, we went to Tampa on our anniversary trip. And on coming home, right, we stopped in this little place in Florida, probably like an hour out from Tampa, right by Ocala area. And it was like a seafood place or whatever the case may be, but it was on a lake. And so we walked in there, and first thing I'm looking for is black folks. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. That's what people do. That's what anybody does. They look for somebody who looks like them so they can feel comfortable. But there wasn't no black folks in there. As a matter of fact, after going back, after leaving and everything like that, looking at the demographics of that town was like 5% black. And it made so much sense to me because of the service we got, because of the looks we got, because of the tension and the hostility that was in there, to the point we had to hurry up and eat our food and leave. Although I can still carry, I got my gun, but at the same time, you got a gun, but everybody else in there probably got a gun too. So, that's why we have to understand where we're at. No audio for what? LNL Honeycomb Homestead. No audio for the video, no audio for me. That is natural. It is natural. You look for people who look like you. You look for people who look like you. So yeah, man, after that, I was like, you have to be mindful of where you're at. You have to be mindful of where you're at, and you have to actually take the time to do your research. The third thing I was going to suggest, but they already had that, was guard dogs. But the people poison their dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy to me. Cameras and security measures, they had all of that up in place, and still they still found a way to destroy it. You just rather stay out of that environment altogether. Exactly. Just don't go where you want it. Just know how to maneuver. That's why I say, black people, come back to the South. That was my last point. Buy land in the South. If you want to farm and all that, buy land in the South where okay, within 30 minutes, I can have, 10 people in my family get up here to where I'm at. Versus you all the way in Colorado, your family in Houston. It's not going to be as easy for them to get to you. Excuse me. But buy land in the South, y'all. Get back to where your ancestors was bought here and settled at and all this stuff, man. Get land in the South. Because we thinking, we're gonna go out west, or we're gonna go to the Midwest or up north. Man, you gotta realize a lot of the clansmen, a lot of the slave owners or overseers, or all these people who were just racially against us. All these people migrated to these areas. All these people migrated to these areas. So you think, oh, I'm gonna move to California, man? It's I would argue it's more races in these cities that's not in the South than it is in the South. It's a misconception that the South is just that bad. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still like that in a lot of places in the South, but you'll be surprised there's a lot more places like that outside of the South. Even in New York, even in, I mean, go up to New England, go up to New England, go to Massachusetts, go to Maine, go to Vermont. You will find out real quick. You will find out real quick that the people up there will probably be worse than the people in Mississippi or Alabama. We pick orders in the fall. Hopefully we get back home. Oh, I'm glad to hear that for you, family. I'm glad to hear that. Let me keep me posted on, when y'all find out, man. We definitely would like to link with y'all. When my father was alive, he inherited land in Mississippi. He gave it away to his brother. He said that he would never go back. Hey, man. I mean, that was his experience. And yes, Mississippi, it's like that. I can't sit here and say it ain't. But don't think, it ain't like that in Michigan, or don't think it ain't like that in Ohio or California. When it's the same thing. But the thing I'm trying to get the point across is that it's really like that all over. It's not just in the area that we think it's concentrated in. It's like that all over. And unfortunately, we have to find out in situations like this where the brother is getting literally harassed, man. And I honestly, I want to tell this brother, man, if you can, move, sell this property, man, get what you can, because at the end of the day, it ain't worth your peace of mind. It ain't worth your family's safety. It ain't worth your family's safety, man, because these people will go to great lengths just to get you off that property, man. Even so, I ain't gonna put what they'll do. I ain't gonna put that in the atmosphere, but it's some things, man, that they sick minds will do just for the sake of proving a point. You already see they don't got a problem killing a baby animal or poisoning a dog. You know what I'm saying? They don't have a problem with waving guns and chasing, you around. They don't got problems with that. You see what I'm saying? So I would say, brother, if you can, man, get out of that situation, because it ain't worth it. You could start over with 500 acres somewhere else, or 200 acres somewhere else, and then expand to 1,000 somewhere where you'll be around more people who look like you. I'll take Mississippi over Maine any day, man. I will take wherever has a significant Black population over somewhere that don't. You know what I'm saying? You should. Purple elephant, yeah. I would take anywhere where I'm welcome and where I can see, okay, yes, there's people that look like me around here. But yeah, family, man, that's I really wanted to bring you guys this story, man, because I just couldn't believe it when I read it. I was like, wow, is this 1920? But then I had to remind myself, like, what did you think changed? You know what I'm saying? Nothing changed. I grew up in the South. I know how the South is. I know the places where I can't be, and where I can be. You know what I'm saying? It's just unwritten rules, man. But I'm gonna reach out to this brother, man. But if y'all can, man, share this video or share that article. Go hit up their GoFundMe, man, or something like that. Support their Instagram, man. Support their meat sales or whatever the case may be, man, because that shouldn't be happening to nobody at all. And we need more Black people to understand what's going on. And we need more Black people who are willing to do something about it. And I ain't just talking about violence or nothing like that, but actually do something about it, as far as not just say we're going to pray. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, pray first, but what you going to do after you're done praying? You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of that whole narrative, that whole docile, Jesus will fix it narrative, which Christ will fix it, but what are you doing to fix it? Because if you, first off, faith ain't just only just, oh, well, I believe this. No, faith comes with actions. Faith is actions. They go hand in hand. Faith and works are not separated. They're hand in hand. It's because I believe that I do. You see, not the other way around, or not just I believe. It's because I believe I do. So while we sitting here saying, well, we believe this brother, is suffering, and this brother's going through this and that, we're gonna do something too. Well, we're gonna help them pull shifts at night to protect their family. We're gonna help them patrol. We're gonna, what we're gonna do? Okay, let's go buy some land up here so they're not the only family there. You see what I'm saying? Let's start a community up there where they won't be outnumbered so much. What are we gonna do? Or let's at least get this world, where are black celebrities at? You see what I'm saying? Like where are our politicians and celebrities and millionaires and billionaires? We always like to sit up here and talk about Jay-Z and Oprah and all these people. But I mean, where they at in times like this? Where you literally got a man who can provide food for thousands of people. He got 1,000, man, this man got 1,000 acres. He could provide food for thousands of people, black people at that, but he can ship all across the country. We should be protecting this man at all costs. Do y'all not realize that? What are we doing? Glad I caught this live. The time difference be big hating. Yeah, for real. Yes, we need action. Okay. Yeah, clowns, man. Clowns. You know, but you know, it's up to us at the grassroots level to make enough noise to get the attention of, you know what I'm saying? And you know, like I said, man, we got to do stuff, bro. Denver got a large black population. Denver got a significant black population. Right now, I ain't saying it's like 50% or nothing like that. I don't know what it is, but Denver has a notable black population that's 30 minutes or 45 minutes from where this man's farm is, and you telling me you can't get 1,000 black brothers and sisters to come and you march or, you know, help with security, help with patrolling, or just, you know, just come to this town just to make everybody comfortable and say, we here to stay. What, we can at least get surely 5,000-10,000 people to do that. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got to be, you know, violence or, you know, hatred with hatred. It ain't got to be none of that. But do something other than sitting here and say, well, we just gonna pray. 66,000 black folks in Denver. Surely we can get 5 to 10 to drive 45 minutes and say, well, we gonna go in y'all restaurants and do a sit-in. Or we gonna block the traffic down wherever this city at, this county or whatever. Or we gonna go stand outside the sheriff's office. There was a man selling chickens. He was run out of business by new contract provisions. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. But again, we don't support our own, so how can we get mad at the end of the day? But, you know, as long as I got a platform, I'm going to bring it out, so I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But y'all, support this brother. Share this video, man, please. Share this live. Share that article. You know what I'm saying? The people need to hear this. But, you know, with that, man, I'm going to say, like I always like to say, if you give somebody the power to feed you, you give them the power to starve you. Peace.